Further fuel has been added to the fire today with a war of words between Niclas Fullkrug and West Ham United. The extra petrol has been poured on top by Fabrizio Romano. I will read his tweet right now. Niclas Fullkrug set to leave West Ham in January as his chapter at the club is over. Talks have started with German clubs and not only. I don't know, I just left it like that at the end. He had more characters he could have used. What I think he wanted to say was, talks have started with German clubs and other clubs are interested as well because, well, AC Milan are supposedly interested in Fulkrug. The reason this is interesting and the reason it's a war of words because the club wouldn't agree with that. They're telling anyone that will listen at the moment, there's no talks. There's no talks with a German club. What I think is happening is Niclas Fullkrug is in talks with a German club. Maybe that's the case. Maybe his agent is. As far as West Ham close to making a deal, forget it. I spoke to a football agent this morning. He said there's no way West Ham will get any money for Niclas Fullkrug in this transfer window. The best that they can hope for is a loan with an option to buy. There's no money coming in for Niclas Fullkrug in January. That's what I was told anyway. I believe it. I completely 100% believe that, by the way. What is quite telling here, though, and this is a little bit interesting, is, well, there's two things. Firstly, when you say Niclas Fullkrug is leaving, in terms of West Ham fans, when you do a video about it or anything like that, nobody cares. Well, people are interested, but it's more interested in, okay, who will he replace? What will we do? Who will be the next striker coming in? There's no anger that he's leaving. There's nothing. There's a bit of apathy, really. Honestly, people tend not to care. It's a case of, yeah, okay, he can go. Because he's never really firmly cemented himself with West Ham fans. Not from a footballing point of view, anyway. That's not happened. I think people have quite liked what he said when he's criticised one of the performances last season and basically indicated that his teammates weren't fighting. Maybe they weren't listening to the manager. They basically weren't doing everything they could to get the win. I think fans appreciated that. They absolutely did. But it wasn't because of the way he kicked the football or anything. I think people liked a little bit of his interactions in pre-season. He scored a couple of goals in pre-season, and they thought he seemed to be the joker in the pack, the jovial, cheeky chappy in a lot of the pre-season videos. But if you're looking for footballing reasons why you might be attached to Niclas Fullkrug as a West Ham player, there really aren't any. There's not. It's been it's been a terrible signing. So people aren't that arsed about it. What I do find interesting about this is, so you got the club saying, you can go. I don't think the club are that arsed. You can go, but it'll be on our terms. And I think the player wants to leave, but he wants his cake and he wants to eat it. And it's quite funny, actually, because he's doing something I've always accused the club of. Now, I often think that the way the club communicate with West Ham fans is very different to how they communicate through the mainstream media with other fans. I've often felt that David Sullivan and Karen Brady are playing to the galleries. They've given up in trying to convince West Ham fans that they're good owners. So almost what they want to do is convince the Talk Sport listener, the Match of the Day watcher, that they're good, right? This is, I think they play to the wider audience. I think this is what Fulkrug is doing now. I think Fulkrug is doing the same thing. I don't think you could actually make the case to West Ham fans that actually I want to leave because it's been a really bad transfer for me. It's not worked out and I need to get into the Germany team. Because a West Ham fan knows enough to say, well, hold on, mate, you've been picked for every squad. West Ham, the reason he is in the Germany squad. That's the thing, right? It's just a lie. I don't even know why he's even peddling that narrative. He's almost creating, like, he's the victim. He's sacrificed his place in the German squad by moving to West Ham. Well, any West Ham fan will tell you, well, that's nonsense. That's just not the truth. So I do wonder if he's trying to make that plea to just the generalised football fan, which is why you're seeing things getting leaked, firstly from his agent, then Florian Plessenberg, and then today from Fabrizio Romano. But what does seem to be the main issue here is the money. So Fulkrug's on 100-odd grand a week. I don't know how much. And nobody's going to get anywhere close to paying it. Now, the loan deal for Edson Alvarez, West Ham haven't done much good business at all. And the loan deal for Edson Alvarez looked really bad in the summer. In actual fact, it wasn't too bad. Forget about for a moment whether you wanted the player or if you wanted to keep the player, then the loan deal is bad, right? If you were happy enough to see him go, actually the loan deal worked out all right because we got a loan fee and 100% of his wages were covered. Didn't work out all right for Alvarez because it was Mourinho that wanted him, and then Mourinho was gone pretty soon after. Also, it means in terms of his value on the balance sheet, he's done another year, and then whatever money we get for him will probably work out as a profit on the balance sheet. Actually, as a business deal, it worked out okay. I'm not saying brilliant, but okay. We're probably not going to make a loss. Anything that happens with Fulkrug is horrendous. There's almost no way of turning this into a particularly good deal. But if we are going to do it, we'd want to do the same thing. We'd want a loan fee because nobody's going to buy him. We'd want a loan fee. We'd want to get him a further year down the line in term because if you, as you know, I'll tell you this anyway. If you sign a 5-year contract at a club and you've cost 50 million, when you first start, you're worth 50 million on the balance sheet. With every year that goes on your 5-year contract, so after a year, you were 40. After 2 years, you were 30 million. That sort of thing. West Ham are in no... They do not want to subsidise his move. They're basically saying, we're not going to pay you to move. You go to Germany if you want. And I don't feel there's a massive desire from West Ham to want to keep him. I don't even think West Ham are saying, oh, you're brilliant, please stay here and help us out. I don't know. I'm not even sure that's going on. To be fair, we've not seen him enough under Nuno to know if he likes him or not, but we've not seen enough of Fulkrug under any manager to know whether they like him or not. The truth of the matter is he's just never fit. He's not fit. But the fact is that West Ham are not going to pay him to leave. West Ham already feel, and it's their own fault, a lot of this blame gets put on Tim Stuyton, by the way, but it's West Ham's own fault, because if West Ham hadn't mucked around with John Duran, over £3 million wouldn't be in this situation. So I don't like that maybe David Sullivan, Karen Brady would try and deflect the blame of this transfer solely on Tim Stuyton. No, there's a lot of people to blame here, and they're certainly partly to blame as well. But they certainly feel that they've made a loss because it was such a crap transfer. They have made a loss. There's no appetite to lose any more money, and I don't blame them for that. So why should we give him away? Why should we pay him? West Ham don't have any strikers, really, that we're confident are going to get us through the second half of the season. A striker's absolute priority. But we're not in a position to let the players go. Like, Wilson might not be the best answer in the world, but we're not in a position to let him go. Fulkrug might not be the best answer in the world to our goal scoring problems, but they're not prepared to let him go. Not for nothing. Certainly not going to. He can go, but we're not going to pay you to go. If you want to go, it's got to be beneficial to us. Obviously, some of it's going to be beneficial to a player, but at the moment, it looks like that Fulkrug and his agent are just using the German media to try and make it so it's just beneficial to Fulkrug. I look at this like I look at any transfer. I'm even going back to Declan Rice leaving and stuff like that. This has to be... We have to do what's best for West Ham. We really, really do. Do I think Niclas Fullkrug is likely to get injured again? Yeah. Do I think he wants to be at West Ham? No. It's been a transfer that hasn't worked out, but I know it sounds terrible. As terrible as it sounds, an old and an injured striker is better than no striker, and I just don't think we can do it until we bring somebody else in. Which again, I'm not. Just stub my toe then. I'm not convinced about. I'm not convinced we're going to be able to do that. We just can't do it. But anyway, look, you got. This is really intriguing war of words, and interesting to see Romano being drawn into it. He's not going to say no, by the way. There's no blame on Romano. Probably Fulkrug's agent or whoever contacted him and said, "Oh look, we've got a little tweet for you here. Niclas is in talks with such and such. Yeah, okay, maybe we'll, but yeah, we have to make this work for us. Whether that's, I don't think we're going to get any money from what I've heard, but whatever. Whether it's a player exchange, whether it's a loan fee, but I think most importantly, someone has to come in first before we let him go. Someone has to come in first. I just don't like the way that he's played the victim in this. It's like I hate that. I hate that in anything. If people are victims, people are victims. There's plenty of transfers where actually players have been treated pretty badly. Niclas Fullkrug, Niclas Fullkrug, Luis Guilherme. Luis Guilherme, I think, I wouldn't mind him saying, this is terrible, this is not what I was promised. I wouldn't blame, because he's not been given a chance, I would not blame Luis Guilherme for being totally fed up with West Ham and wanting to leave. It's not his fault, as far as I can see. It's not his fault. I think I wouldn't mind him if he feels hard done by, no problem. But Niclas Fullkrug feeling hard done by, honestly, he's earned so much money. He's offered nothing. He's offered nothing to West Ham at all. It's been a bad transfer. West Ham are to blame for doing it. But so's he. He didn't have to. You hear all this. Almost immediately he was homesick. He's decided to sign it. He's decided to sign a contract. And if one of the reasons he can't get a deal now is because actually, I want to leave. I want to leave West Ham, but I still want the West Ham wages. You don't get that. If you want to move to Wolfsburg or whatever it is, and their pay ceiling is 60 grand a week. I don't know. I'll pluck that out in there. That's what you're going to have to do, mate. You can't think, I want to move to Wolfsburg and I want the West Ham wages, so I'll take their 60. Oh, and by the way, I'll have enough 40 off you, please, West Ham. Because West Ham are in their right to say, well, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We need a striker. We're not paying. We need that 40 grand to pay another striker who we're going to need. Well, why would we do that? I don't know. Anyway, absolutely bizarre. It's not going to end nice. It's already not. And when it does end, we'll see all the fannying around and everybody writing all their stuff, saying, we'd like to, whatever, Nick would like to wish Niclas Fullkrug all the best for his future. And Fulkrug would say, I'd like to thank the West Ham fans and wish you every success for the future. Come on, you Irons, and all that bloody guff, right? So, honestly, the whole lot, it's a big charade. It's a load of old nonsense. Before I go, let me remind you of our raffle, our Hammers Chat raffle, only £1 a ticket. Unless you buy 4 and you get a fifth one free. Or if you buy 8, you get 2 free. Anyway, signed Jared Bowen's shirt. That's the second prize. Not sure why I'm doing it in this order. The first prize is a signed Freddie Potts shirt. Rare as rocking all shit those are. And the third prize is a bundle, a Hammers Chat bundle. Scarves, hats, that sort of stuff. Really, really good. Only £1 a ticket. The link's in the description below. We'd really appreciate you. All proceeds after we pay for the signed shirts and the pants and all that stuff. All proceeds do go to Hammers Chat. So just so as you know, we're not giving it to the Donkey Sanctuary. Although, by the way, I would like to say I do out of my own personal give money to the Donkey Sanctuary, and I would like one day, as an ambition of mine, to run a Donkey Sanctuary. There you go. I think we're a long way off. Anyway. I don't know why I digressed. That's what I do. Let me know what you think about Niclas Fullkrug. You don't have to let me know what you think about Donkey Sanctuaries. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.